So having a workflow that you follow every single time is going to make sure you're not missing anything, and you're also cleaning everything that you said you were going to clean. Today we're at Praeter out in Sacramento. We've got a big plane we're doing. It's inside and outside today and tomorrow. So today's just interior. We're gonna go in, do a quick interior job on it, and then tomorrow we're doing exteriors. I've got the ladder up here that I'm gonna drop off for the guys tomorrow. And right now we're just checking in. When you first start getting into doing planes, you've got 3 different types of clients generally. You've got general aviation, you've got Part 91, and then Part 135. Those are gonna be kind of your main types of clients. General aviation is going to be your small planes like your Cessna 172s and Pipers and things like that. Part 135 is going to be, your charter operators. They've got fleets of planes that they charter out. And then on the other side is Part 91. You're dealing with these large jets as well. Usually they're a lot nicer. Thanks. And could you send... All right, we got the key and now we're heading to the hangar. Yeah, going back, you've got general aviation, Part 135, Part 91. Generally these planes are going to be, at least from my experience, they're usually newer. These are owned by like corporations. Let's say Part 135 would be your flex jet you see out here or your net jets. And then Part 91 would be, you've got, let's say the Walmart Corporation, or you've got, at least for us, we've got a few grocery stores in Sacramento that own planes. So those would be your Part 91. And they usually have a couple planes, sometimes 1, sometimes 5. So those are generally the types of clients that we're going after. On the other side, you've got FBOs, MROs, flight schools are always big. Yeah, there's always going to be a ton of different clients. So people are like, do I always have to do ceramic coatings, or do I always have to do interior details? When you get into this industry, you can kind of do whatever you want. For us, we do a little bit of everything. We started out with ceramic coating smaller planes, and that was our bread and butter. We'd go there, we'd spend 2-3 days on a plane, and it's a small plane, it's a manageable job. And now we've transitioned to doing mostly jets. It's just what we like to do. It's what's around us. So people are always like, I don't see a ton of jets in my area. If you live in any city with a lot of people, there's going to be planes. Like there'll be flight school planes or there'll be jets. There's always work to be had. It's just, finding out which kind of client that you'll service pretty much. All right, so we just pulled up at the hangar here. It's a big hangar here. I'm gonna try to open this door, and then we're gonna open this. Whenever we get to an airport, we've gotten in trouble for driving into hangars before. Some airports will allow it, some won't. Luckily today they will, so we don't have to carry our ladder like a mile to the plane. I'm gonna hop in here, open the door. This hangar door is huge. You can see we've dealt with some airports where you have to push the hangar door, and usually you just call. The line guys will come out and do it, but he opened the door a little bit. All right, I'm gonna open this door a little bit more than we need, always just to be careful. Whenever driving around in these aircraft, I've seen people back up into them. If you back them into the wing or nose, you can say goodbye to your kids' college fund. Whenever you get to a new airport, this is the ladder method. I'm in a new hangar now. I've got a brand new ladder. I'm gonna write our name on the side of this ladder and then leave the ladder in the hangar with my phone number. So now we've got a few planes in this hangar. Next time, let's say one owner comes in, they took a look at this ladder, they see UD text with their phone number, they're gonna give us a call. It's costs about $100 to leave a ladder. One sale is all you need. Yeah, we've got this Praeter 600 today. It's a big aircraft, super mid-sized jet. It's super nice on the inside. It's clean. We got called out today because this plane just went through maintenance and there's a little bit of hydraulic fluid somewhere on there that I've got to look and find it. Other than that, this is a clean airplane. There's a couple bugs on the nose here, probably a few on the leading edge. And then, you've got some kick up around the landing gear and the fluid that we're gonna take care of. So this is just kind of a maintenance wash that we're gonna do, and they've got us out here, so we're gonna do an interior detail as well, just to keep it clean. These don't really fly that often, but when they do, they want it in perfect conditions. We're gonna spend 8 hours on this tomorrow, just making sure everything's dialed in. Right now I'm taking a look at it. It doesn't look that bad at all. So it's gonna clean up really nicely. We're gonna do the inside today, just kind of go over workflow, standard operating procedure. Try to open this door. All right. Before we get started, we'll do a quick run through of what we got today. We're not doing a carpet shampoo. The chemicals that we're gonna bring are not gonna be that much. Everything that we use for the interior is kind of just in this package. So this is a Husky tote. I got it from Home Depot. I really like it. I've gone through a whole bunch of different things. We've used the big Milwaukee boxes. We've used carts in the past. The tote's great because you can carry all your bottles like this. It gets a little bit heavy, but these are full-size bottles. I've got backup water here just in case. Rinseless wash solution right here, and kind of everything you need. You've got, you know, clay bars and scrub pads in here, brushes on the side. So I really like this. You know, we tried a lot of different things, and this is just kind of what we land with cars, with planes, especially because we've got to lug these around. Like, if I did have to walk from the outside into this plane, this wouldn't be that big of a deal. Other than that, we've got a generator always on board. This is just from Harbor Freight. This is an inverter generator. It's a 2000. I recommend this one over anything larger because back to being able to carry it, we were gonna have to carry this like 400 meters. It's much easier than having to push like a 3500 or a 5000. And the Harbor Freight ones are cheap. You can go this or go Honda, either way. Extension cord, just to be able to hook up to the generator. Normally I would bring some lights that we can hook up to the extension cord. And then I've got this light just in case we need anything. It's an M12 Rover floodlight from Milwaukee. Other than that, we can do most of the job just with this. And then with our microfiber towels. We do have a vacuum, so this is just going to be done at the end. If there were stains, the only thing that we would bring that is different, if we were doing a carpet shampoo, if there were stains, if there's pet hair, would be either a steam cleaner or a heated water extractor or heated carpet extractor. This is kind of all we need. I know a lot of guys who will detail out of, you know, Honda Civics and things like that. This much trunk space is overkill really for. And we always go shoes off. We're kicking off the boots and popping in. All right, so we're in the plane. I'm gonna set this down on the ground and not on any chairs just because this thing gets set everywhere. And I'm gonna flick on my light. You can see, good thing we have this light. I'm gonna set this up right here. So trick on the light, whenever you cleaning something, you can have a light pushed in the direction. What I like to do on planes with light interiors is point them up to the sky. By doing that, you're lighting up kind of the whole area and it's diffused, versus if you're just lighting something up, let's say a seat, you're looking at this light and it's kind of blinding you at the same time. I just like to light it up here, and then when I'm doing my inspection at the end, I'll go in with the light. So yeah, inside the plane here, what we're doing first is an inspection always. We're just gonna look in all of the cubbies, open up all the tables, you know, check all of the cup holders, the windows, and then check the lav and then the galley up here. Also just note any damage. So this plane, like I said, we've cleaned it before. It's always in great condition. I know exactly where the people sit because I found crumbs in certain areas. So I'm gonna be sure to check those. And this plane is gonna be clean. So we're just gonna work through kind of our entire workflow, and I'll go over that in a second. But yeah, let me take some pictures first and then we'll get moving. See, you don't want to miss something like that. So workflow wise, we will always follow the same standard operating procedure when checking into a plane, whether we're doing a small plane, even a Boeing business jet. We're gonna generally clean the same way. The reason we're gonna follow this kind of checklist of items is because we wanna make sure we're not gonna miss anything. For an airplane, there's a ton of small compartments. There's a ton of things you have to do. Even if you're just wiping stuff down, you can easily miss something. So having a workflow that you follow every single time is gonna make sure you're not missing anything, and you're also cleaning everything that you said you were gonna clean. We always send our clients a list of what's included in our service, but the order of operations is what we keep on our mind. So we always start with the seats. We're gonna do the seats first today. And the reason we're doing the seats before doing the tables is that because if we spray these, we might get overspray on the seats later on. So we'll go seats, we'll do tables, and then we'll do leather condition at the very end during our checks. And yeah, other than that, what I like to do, people can figure out what works best for them. I like to do seats, and then I like to do the lav, and then I like to do the tables, I like to do the galley, then do the trash in both galley and the lav, and then vacuum generally, and then I'll do my final touches. So this will be final wipe downs, leather conditioning, and then cleaning all the windows. They're not dirty at all, as you can see. These are in great condition. There's still some general body oil. So when people put their arms down, they're just gonna attract body oils onto the leather. So although they don't look particularly dirty when people sit in here, is we use all-purpose cleaner, and you can use a couple different things. So we just like an all-purpose cleaner that we like, and we dilute it 1 to 10 with distilled water. The reason we're not using all-purpose cleaner straight out of the bottle is because sometimes it's too strong for the leather dyes. So if you spray all-purpose cleaner and you leave it on the seat, that might ruin the dye or it might discolor the seat. And then you're dealing with a reupholster or a repaint, which is going to cost hundreds of thousands of dollars. On seats, I don't use brand new towels. These are previously used towels and they've been washed properly, so they're clean. But on the interior towels, compared to the exterior, they don't need to be completely brand new. Just make sure that they're clean. Use a towel, and we use an auto fiber scrub ninja just to give us a little bit of abrasion. On the interior, it's mainly all-purpose cleaner and then rinseless wash. I like using all-purpose cleaner on stuff that needs to be disinfected and rinseless wash on stuff that needs to be just clean of any fingerprints. The tops of these wood panels, the sides, maybe the upholstery on the top. And the reason being is that the rinseless wash is just very delicate. You can pour it all over your skin, all over your face. It'll be fine. It does have some cleaning solvents in it, but it's going to be, you know, one of the least invasive cleaners that you can use. What we're doing here is we're going to pull out the middle section. This comes out like this. And we're going to inspect here. As you can see, there's a little bit of stuff here and here. And this just gets caught up in the seat when people are, you know, maybe eating or something like that. We're going to take extra care into that. I like to spray in the pad. You can spray on the seat if you'd like, but again, just be careful of any overspray or anything like that. And with this, you want to let the chemical do the work. Also apply even pressure. If it's hotter outside, you're most likely going to want to wipe a little bit quicker. The reason is that you don't want this all-purpose cleaner to dry because it can also cause potential damage to the seats, you know. So ideally, the way that you can tell if something is dirty or clean is look at the sheen. It obviously depends on the type of leather, but generally, you know, if you look at your car steering wheel, it's going to be shiny, even though it's leather. Let's say you have a leather steering wheel, it's shiny. That's because all of your oils from your hand is on that steering wheel, making it shiny. If you were to go get your car detailed, or if you were to clean that yourself, it should have a matte finish at the end of it. It's just like this. It was a little bit shiny just because of the bodily oils. You can't really see anything here, but once you go in with cleaner and then with the pad, you can kind of see that it turns out to be a little bit more matte. That's kind of what you're looking for on these. You're not going to get a crazy transformation, but the clients will definitely feel it. When their arms are on it, they're like, huh, it definitely feels a little bit different. And that's because it's clean. With these seats, you always have to be careful in here because although you'll clean it with a pad, sometimes there's still going to be some residue in here. On this one, there isn't any residue, but I'll do this just for demonstration purposes. We can get a brush and spray in the brush, and then you can open that crack up and then kind of just go like that. And this will get inside of the crevices. If there was something like a stain or chocolate or wine or something, you can go in with a steamer and this will push out all the cleaner. After I clean each seat, I leave the seat belt not reset. We're going to reset at the end, so I leave it not reset so I know exactly which seat. So this one's done. We're going to move on, clean the rest of these seats, and then we're going to move on to the lav in the back. Now we're going to work on the lav. Usually, besides the general workflow, what I like to do is kind of the hardest stuff first and then make my way forward. If we were to get like an emergency call and say the plane's taking off in 1 hour, they called for a reason. We're going to hit the stain first, or we're going to hit this seat first. But if we're just cleaning without a timeline, generally I like to do the hardest things first because the day just feels a lot better. The seats are going to be the most labor intensive, and then the lav is obviously not going to be too pretty. This one is very pretty. Seats, lav, tables, then we can do the galley, and then the last thing is vacuum and wipe. Super easy. This door, sometimes you'll have to open these doors, but always double check because high touch areas is what we're always thinking about. Where are people touching? Because this obviously is not going to get dirty, but there are always fingerprints. Our job, like I said, is, you know, just to make sure it's clean. So here we can't really see too much right now, but I can see a couple fingerprints right around the door here. And then I know that there are going to be fingerprints on this door here. Unfortunately, the APU is not on, so I can't open this door. Then yeah, on the bathroom, what I like to do is just generally clean. So we're going to wipe down all the doors. We're going to wipe down the mirrors. We're going to wipe down the vanity backsplash there. We're going to wipe down the sink. Sometimes these cabinets will get a little bit dirty. I like to take stuff out, organize them, wipe the cabinets down. Other than that, the only other thing to note is there's usually going to be a trash inside of the lav. Always make sure to take out the trash. So as you can see here, we've got trash, a trash can. So what we're going to do is just take this out. Most of the time, our clients will leave bags underneath. That's pretty standard. I don't see any bags at the bottom of this can, so I'm gonna look for bags up in the front of the plane. So yeah, on the bathroom, I'm just using a different product here. We can normally use all-purpose cleaner or rinseless wash. Jetstream sent me this, so I'm gonna give it a try. I have not used it before. on the interior. So it's power foam, it's for interior, exterior. I'm not gonna spray this just on the panel here because we're gonna get a ton of overspray. I'm gonna spray it on my towel and I'm gonna kind of prime it like that, and I'm just gonna wipe. You also want to be careful not to use anything highly scented. I think that is usually a given, but sometimes people like to use highly scented things. I think some of these cleaners are great. Fabuloso is a great cleaner. It's cheap, but it's not something I would use in the airplane just because you don't know if your client likes that smell. I would recommend, if you were to ever spray anything like an odor neutralizer, you know, spray something with a minimal scent, or sometimes the owners will have. So far we've done the seats, we've done the lav, replaced the trash, cleaned the toilet, organized the cabinets, wiped everything down. Now I'm gonna do the sides and the tables. These are also another high touch area. As you can see here, there's a couple fingerprints, nothing too crazy, but generally where people are gonna sit, these won't be full, but you have to take into account where people sit. The seats that are facing the cockpit are usually what I've seen to get the dirtiest. So either in the back of the plane, this seat, or this seat right here. And this is the seat when you walk in on the left side facing the cockpit. This is the one that's gonna get the dirtiest. When we clean these, it's gonna be pretty simple. I always wipe the spray the solution in the towel versus on here just to reduce overspray. All tables are gonna be a little bit different. These ones operate just like that. They're super nice. These do scratch up fairly easily, so that's why I always say use a new towel, and they do streak fairly easily. If you're cleaning with a towel, make sure to get all your streaks before closing it. I'm just going to flip the towel over, buff out the cleaner, and then make sure to clean both sides. All right, onto the galley here. Pretty much the same exact thing as the lav, except bigger and cleaner. You've got a ton of cabinets with a lot of snacks, so I always like to organize them, make sure the cabinets are clean. Sometimes you'll get drink spillage in this area and spill over into the cabinet. The only thing that I like to note when doing the galley, check for hidden stuff. Right here, we've got a hidden cutting board or extra shelf. A lot of people will miss that. You'll also have a garbage can. Make sure we're taking out the garbage. As you can see, there is garbage in there, and so we're gonna replace that. If you were to just spray the cabinet, this was what a lot of people do. What happens is that they will be clean from the outside. When you wipe them, they'll be clean. You can clean the pull areas, but the problem is when you open them, you've got a ton of overspray on the top of the cabinets, and this is how you get fired. Always be sure to check the full cabinets, whether it be the tops, the sides, the pull. If you wanted to avoid that, you can always spray directly in the towel. Either way, the whole thing is going to get wiped clean. You can do either way you like. All right, so just wrapped up the seats, lav, side tables, galley. Now what we're gonna do is kind of our finishing touches. Before vacuuming, we're going to do the leather conditioner and also reset all of the seat belts. That's kind of a large one that separates, I guess, amateurs versus older aircraft detailers. At least this is from what my clients have told us. So when people, you know, will go from car detailing to detailing planes, anyone can do a great job, but it comes down to the attention to detail. We're going to condition these leather seats, which are standard, but we're also gonna reset the seat belt. I'm gonna go over that in a second. I've seen just putting the seatbelts back like this is not going to fly. This is kind of the same thing as like if you were to throw carpet line in your car's carpet when you're detailing. You want to reset the seatbelts perfectly every single time, and we're going to go over that. Let's condition these seats first. Same thing, I always like to put it in the towel versus on the seat. I'm using 3D1. You can use any type of leather conditioner you like. Before, you always just prime the microfiber pad. Be careful around things like this. As you can see right here, it looks like we got a little bit of overspray. I'm going to go on and make sure that's taken out after I clean the seats. So when it comes to resetting seat belts, what we like to do is make sure they're even. You're always going to have an extra thing kind of flinging around here, and some planes will have it larger, some planes will have a short one. This one is fairly long, so what I'm going to do is tuck it in here. Sometimes you'll deal with seat belts that are down here, and that's fine. But this is up here. I'm going to tuck it in, and instead of just shoving it here, what I'm going to do is pull this section out and then tuck it in behind the seat, and then make sure this whole thing is kind of straight. This comes out. What I'm going to do is tuck this down, make sure it's fairly tight. This wants to come over here is what I'm seeing, but I want the seat belt to be straight for the client to see. So what I'm going to do is pull this tight, and then I'm going to push this. Just hold it, hold this, and then with the other hand, I'm going to line it up and then push it in. See that right there? It's fairly straight. This one, I'm just gonna put it right along there. I don't like putting it here because you're gonna leave a dimple in the seat, and sometimes people won't like that. You could push it back in here and make it clean. Maybe I'll leave it like that today. When it comes down to it, do it however you like. It's not rocket science. The only thing is make sure all the seats are the same. You don't want to do different seat belts for different ways. I'm gonna make sure this is straight. I'm gonna push the female section in, and then for this holder, what I'm gonna do is just put it on the bottom line here. So at the end of it, every single seat is gonna have the same configuration when it comes to seat belts, and the client is gonna be like, hey, these guys do an excellent job. They have great attention to detail, and I'm gonna hire them again. All right, we just wrapped up a full interior detail on this Praeter 600. We did pretty basic service, so we wiped down all the seats, the lav, the tables, and the galley. Conditioned the seats, did a final vacuum, just made sure everything looks good. And yeah, this plane was already clean, but we made sure everything's perfect and it's ready for its next flight. Tomorrow, we'll be back to do the exterior. And yeah, if anyone has any questions or comments or wants to know anything for the next video, just drop it below. Other than that, see you next time.